Hello YouTube land, it's Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter. It's been about a week since I've posted anything and I don't have a lot to show you. Doesn't mean that I wasn't busy. I've been testing some stuff which I can't talk about. So that's been keeping me busy. I've also started the scrap gan for my father-in-law. I will still finish the chevron one or chevron-like one eventually, but for now I'm gonna finish, and I've got till August 1st to do it because that's when I'm gonna see him. So anyway, it's gonna be a little more amigurumi today. I am still on that kick, which we'll jump right into my acquisitions. Karen, the viewer that sent me the last book, did it again. She sent me this. It is called Super Easy Amigurumi. Hello, it's right up my alley. It is the cutest thing ever. They are small. I'm not going to show you the patterns, but look at the instructions. Oh my god. So they have like chicks and parakeets and turtles. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see that. And mice and penguins and bears, and I just got this today. So, and I was going to ship off Amber's box this Friday, but I think I'm gonna hold it on one more week so I can get a couple more little things out of this book done and put in the box. Karen, you're like my angel. Like, you just pay attention and you miraculously show up with things that I need at the time. So I do greatly appreciate this. I was flipping through this and I just want to get started on this because they're little. They're made perfect keychains or backpack buddies. So I'm gonna start that, although I have a lot of things on the go. Okay, and again, thank you, Karen. Very, very, very kind and completely unexpected. I'm gonna have to come up with something else to surprise you. My brain is kind of fried these days, so I don't know. The other thing that I wanted to show you was, last week I told you about Angelia's newest pattern that I tested, but at the time of the taping of that podcast, it wasn't released. She released it right after I posted that video. So I'm like, and I've been trying ever since to, you know, videotape something to put on. I just have not had time. I have been gardening like a fiend. I have, probably not a good thing, but my back is like different colors than the rest of me because it's all, it's hard to work in just t-shirts because you get hot. So I've been working in tank tops, so and they're all different straps, so I got these different lines. But anyway, okay, back to Angelia's pattern. She released Fletcher the Fox. And here is my version of Fletcher the Fox. Oh my god. It's like every time she issues a pattern, it's better than the last one. He is fabulous. The reason that he's wearing a scarf, and I will show you, my little dog Oscar thought it was for him, and I come into the living room and he's got his jowls around his neck. So the stuffing has started coming out. So I made a quick scarf. Let me see. And now he's got a scarf. But anyway, pattern is so easy. And like I said, I'm fairly new to amigurumi. And well, you guys have all been on the road with me, so you know how long I've been doing it. And he's fabulous. He's so well, and her patterns are written line by line. She's not assuming that you know anything. She's talking you through it, really easy. Look at this tail. Look at this tail. It's fabulous. I love it. I didn't have the orange that she had, so I just used a burgundy. I just used whatever I found in my stash. Which reminds me, have you guys noticed I've not done any yarn hauls for quite a while? That's because I haven't bought any. I've been so good. I'm using my stash for everything. I don't know how much longer I can go. But anyway, Fletcher is a great addition to my menagerie, and I love him. And thank you, Angelia, for asking me to test it. Fabulous. You're pushing me out of my comfort zone. All right, the rest of what I have is for Amber. Actually, no, before I do Amber, I don't know, maybe I'll send this or not. I was playing around, so I've been doing the amigurumi, and I needed a palette cleanser. So I actually have two. This is the first one that took me about 20 minutes. And this is using one of those cakes, I forget. It's a very chunky cake, which is not enjoyable. And the reason is, let me see if I can show you. Remember I was telling you about how I hate the ink spots? So I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but like there's like little spots. I don't know if you can see that. Like, to me it looks like, excuse the expression, poop. So it looks dirty. But anyway, I used it up to make this little hat for a little person. And what I did was I made a pom-pom, and then I took, so I have two dogs, and one of them's 10 years old. And so when I first got him, I used to brush him. So, and so I ended up buying one of these. And then I quickly realized that it was much easier to have him shaved. He likes it because of the heat, and I don't have to brush him. Anyway, it's one of those dog brushes. So it hasn't been used in 10 years. So I decided to make a pom-pom, and then I just brushed the fibers out, and it made this like super soft poof. I love it. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this little hat, but I was just cleansing my palette. And then in a little while I'll talk about my second palette cleanser. So I did that. And I'm using up my cakes. If I buy any cakes in the future, they will be well thought out cakes. Now, Amber stuff. I made another little sleeping baby dino. I'll leave a link for it. Using scraps. I think I'm addicted to this little thing because it's so easy, and the whole body is made in one piece, and then you sew on the spikes and the feet. That's it. And the eyes are just little slits. I guess you could use safety eyes and make them like wide open. Anyway, so I made that for Amber. Then I made another bookmark, and that is the duck. Now, let me show you. He's a little wonky. His little feather tuft is a little off center from his eyes, but whatever. And I actually made feet. This is from Heart Hook Home. Now what I also decided to do was, because these are bookmarks, I decided to attach, I went to the store and bought some children's books, and each bookmark's gonna get a little book. Now the books are all by a, I wanna say Canadian author, Robert Munsch, but he really is an American that's been imported into Canada, for lack of a better word. He is an American, but he resides in Canada, so we like to think that he's Canadian. Anyway, I think he's been in Canada since the 80s, something like that. Anyway, my kids grew up on Robert Munsch, and so I went out and I picked up Robert Munsch, and I think so many Canadian schools teach with Robert Munsch books. So I'll be sending each of those, I'll be sending 4 books with the 4 bookmarks. And then I wanted to make a backpack buddy for more of a boy, and I came across this pattern. I'll leave the link for it, but yeah, I don't think I did a very good job. This part's sewn, and obviously I have issues with sewing. I mean, I guess it looks like a football, and I will send it, but I'm not pleased with it. So maybe I'll redo it, but then again, maybe not. So I got that done. Then the last one, I wanted to make a little owl, and I didn't use a pattern for this. I just looked at a picture, and they're pretty standard. I made this little guy. Yeah. So he was really, really easy, literally like 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. and he was done. And little itty bitty scraps. So made that. That's going to Amber. Now, again, my second palette cleanser, as I've mentioned before, I'm trying to get through my cakes, and I had 2 paint box chunky pots. Now, if you take a look, beautiful colors. You got some teals, some beiges, and some purples, and a navy in here. The colorway is Constellation. And it looks really good there. So I thought, oh, I'll make a shawl. And the reason I call it a palette cleanser is because it's strictly just double crochet triangular shawl. Now, this is where I'm gonna ask you guys for advice. I've made this much. This is, I'm this much into the second cake. The yarn is luscious. It's springy, like it's springy. It feels great to work with, but the color changes are way too small and uneven. So like the purple is very long, the blue very short, the white's even smaller, or the off-white's even smaller. So you get like the breaks right there. They drive me nuts. So initially, like for these rows here, I did color control. But as the shawl got bigger, you can't color control because the color breaks are too short. So I could either finish this and just keep it for myself, because it is very spongy and the yarn is amazing, or I could rip it back and make a scarf. So a narrower scarf and a hat, and then the color changes won't be as noticeable, I don't think, because the scarf will be narrower. What do you think? Should I go against my own theories and frog, or finish the shawl? I don't know. I'm not crazy about this. And I would not feel right giving it to somebody with these harsh color breaks. But, so then I would end up keeping it. And how many shawls can anybody have? Anyway, that's all I have for you. I gotta go make dinner. We're gonna have nachos for dinner because it was the quickest thing. I've been in the garden literally all day from like 8 a.m. and now it's about 4:30. Until about 4 o'clock, I was in the garden all day. So great, I feel rejuvenated and great. So that's all I've got. It's 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes. That's perfect timing. That's great. I'm gonna let you go now. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I will be back next week with some more stuff that I'm up to. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk soon.